There is a reason you were guided to this transmission at this exact moment. That recent ending, the departure that felt like a devastating rejection, was not what it seemed. It was not a failure. It was your coronation. The universe did not take someone from you, it surgically removed a limitation you had outgrown. The profound ache you felt was not loss, it was the sound of a cage door breaking open, a sound so unfamiliar it was mistaken for pain. This is a moment of divine intervention, a recalibration that has been scheduled for lifetimes. You have been chosen for an accelerated path, and the price of admission was the shedding of a reality that could no longer contain you. Before we proceed, we must anchor this truth. Like this video now to affix this energy to your timeline. Subscribe to join the collective of sovereign souls who are claiming their power. Comment the divine code 77 to signal to the universe that you consciously accept this sacred assignment. Finally, let this transmission play in the background after you have finished listening. Allow the frequency of these words to saturate your spirit, to recalibrate your subconscious mind, and to permanently rewrite the false narrative of rejection into the undeniable truth of your ascension. Chapter 1: The Divine Decoupling. What you experienced was a divine decoupling. It was not a simple breakup, a falling out, or a ghosting. It was a planned, deliberate, and necessary energetic amputation performed by the universe for your own preservation. You must understand this in your bones, in the very marrow of your being. The person or people who departed your life were not just individuals, they were symbolic representations of a lower timeline, a frequency of compromise and self-betrayal that you were no longer meant to inhabit. Their exit was the final, non-negotiable signal that your period of incubation was over. For years, perhaps your entire life, you have operated as an anchor for others. You have been the lighthouse in their perpetual storm, the steady hand in their chaos, the source of warmth they ran to when their own worlds turned cold. You gave your energy, your wisdom, your light, thinking it was your duty. But it was only your training. The universe allowed you to pour yourself out to demonstrate the infinite nature of your source. It allowed them to take, to drain, to misunderstand, to test the very limits of your resilience. And you passed every test. The training was subtle, woven into the fabric of your daily interactions. Every time they were late and you waited patiently, suppressing your own frustration to keep the peace, you were being trained in divine timing and the mastery of your emotional state. Every time they misunderstood your purest intentions and you chose not to engage in a futile argument, you were being trained in sovereign silence, learning that your truth does not require their validation to be real. Every time they created chaos through their own instability and you remained the calm center, you were mastering the art of being the eye of the storm, an unshakable pillar of peace. These were not random annoyances or character flaws you had to endure, they were carefully calibrated exercises in a divine gymnasium designed to build your spiritual muscle. They were the resistance against which your soul had to push to realize its own immense strength. Staying in that dynamic any longer would have been like a champion weightlifter continuing to lift only the lightest weights. It would have led to atrophy, not growth. The universe saw your strength had surpassed the test, and so the equipment was removed. The training ground was dismantled because you had already won the championship. The universe does not waste resources on completed lessons. The final examination was this: could you survive the departure of the very people you sustained? Could you stand on your own 2 feet when the props you didn't even know you were leaning on were kicked away? The searing pain of their exit was a spiritual alchemy. It was the fire that burns away the dross. Every tear you cried was a holy water, cleansing your energetic field of their residue, washing away the energetic fingerprints they left all over your soul. The confusion, the shock, the feeling of being discarded, this was the disorientation of a soul being rapidly pulled from a dense, gravitational field into a lighter, higher atmosphere. Think of a deep-sea diver surfacing too quickly, they experience the bends. You are experiencing the spiritual equivalent, the bends of ascension. The pressure change is immense, and your entire system is scrambling to adjust to the new, rarefied air of your authentic self. This is not a theoretical concept, it is a physiological one. In the coming days, you will feel this shift physically. You might feel a strange lightness, as if a physical weight has been lifted from your shoulders and chest. You may find yourself sleeping more deeply, your dreams becoming more vivid and prophetic, serving as direct communications from your higher self, offering guidance and reassurance. You might experience a ringing in your ears, not as a medical condition, but as you physically hearing the shift to a higher frequency, the sound of your own soul's note becoming clearer. Your dietary cravings will change. Foods you once loved will suddenly seem repulsive, as your body now rejects the dense, low-vibrational fuel it no longer needs. You may feel a sudden urge to be in nature, to walk barefoot on the earth, as your body instinctively seeks to ground its new, powerful energy into the planetary grid. Your very senses are being retuned. Colors may appear brighter, more saturated, as if a dull film has been removed from your eyes. The world will sound different, the harsh static of their energy is gone, and you can now hear the subtle music of existence. Their departure was a mercy killing of your old self, the compromised, people-pleasing version of you that had to die for the true you to be born. It was the most profound act of love the universe could give you, disguised as your greatest fear. This was not a rejection. It was a rescue mission, and you have been successfully extracted from hostile territory. Your real mission is only just beginning. Chapter 2: The Untraceable Blueprint. You are not built like them. This is the fundamental truth you must now accept without apology. Within your spiritual DNA, you carry something we will call the untraceable blueprint. It is a divine schematic, a frequency of pure, original source energy that is woven into the fabric of your being. This is not ego, it is an energetic fact. This blueprint is the original template of your soul, the perfect version of you that existed before the world taught you to be small, to be quiet, to be less. It holds the codes for profound inner peace, unshakable integrity, limitless creativity, and a direct connection to divine intelligence. This blueprint resonates with ancient wisdom, vibrates with cosmic truth, and holds a cellular memory of what it means to be a truly sovereign and powerful being. It is your unique soul signature, inimitable and infinitely precious. When you interact with people, especially those who are spiritually malnourished, you are not just sharing time or conversation. You are unconsciously transmitting pieces of this blueprint. Your presence is a broadcast. You are giving them a taste of a higher state of existence, profound peace, unconditional acceptance, startling clarity, and a sense of purpose they have never been able to generate on their own. They felt this from you. They bathed in the light of your blueprint and mistook it for their own dawn. They believed the joy, the inspiration, the stability they felt was a product of their own evolution, when in reality, it was a borrowed resonance. They were living on the spiritual credit of your soul. This is why they became addicted to you. Not to your personality, not to your looks, not to your worldly success, but to the feeling your blueprint generated within their own depleted systems. You were their energetic nutrient, their spiritual supplement. Their moods were entirely dependent on your proximity. When you gave them attention, their world was bright and hopeful. When you pulled back to protect your own energy, they would become sullen, angry, or manipulative, creating drama to force you to re-engage and reopen the flow of your light. Their moments of brilliance, their best ideas, their sudden bursts of motivation, these were not self-generated. They were echoes of your blueprint, reflections of your light. You filled the cracks in their foundation, silenced the screaming insecurities in their minds, and gave them a false sense of wholeness. They never truly saw you. They saw a resource. They saw a solution to their internal emptiness. They only saw a reflection of the person they wished they could be, illuminated by your light. The tragedy for them, and the liberation for you, is that the blueprint is untraceable and non-transferable. They could feel it, but they could never possess it. They could benefit from it, but they could never replicate it. It is uniquely, divinely yours, earned through lifetimes of soul work, of choosing light over darkness, of maintaining integrity under pressure. It cannot be stolen, copied, or downloaded. Their decision to leave was the ultimate act of spiritual hubris. In a moment of profound ignorance, amplified by an ego that could not admit its dependency, they believed they had absorbed enough of your light to be able to generate it on their own. They thought they had learned the trick, memorized the formula, and could now depart with your magic in their pocket. They believed they had performed a spiritual heist, siphoning off your essence and making it their own. It was the ultimate act of self-deception, a fantasy born from an ego that could not bear the truth of its own emptiness. They mistook proximity for osmosis. They believed that by standing next to the fire, they had become the fire. It was a fatal miscalculation allowed by the universe as the final, definitive act of separation. They walked away convinced they were now the source. They were catastrophically wrong. What they have done is walk away from the only sun they have ever known, holding a fistful of melting snowflakes, believing they have captured a blizzard. The congratulations are for you because you have just been freed from the exhausting, thankless job of being someone else's god. You are no longer a power source for a machine that was never designed to run on its own. The blueprint is now being reclaimed, recalled to its origin point. All of that power, all of that light, all of that potential that was being siphoned off is now flooding back into your own system. The engine is returning to its rightful chassis. You are about to feel what it is like to run on your own pure, undiluted fuel for the first time. Chapter 3: The Phantom Echo. For them, the world has now begun to lose its color. This is not a metaphor, it is an energetic reality. While you are recalibrating to a higher frequency, they are crashing back down to their desolate, unlit baseline. The first stage for them is confusion. They will feel a gnawing, inexplicable emptiness. They will call it missing you, but it is a far deeper and more terrifying phenomenon. They are experiencing the withdrawal of your untraceable blueprint, and it is a spiritual starvation. Imagine a room that has always been lit by a single, brilliant lamp. When that lamp is removed, the room does not just become dim. The inhabitants realize for the first time that the room has no windows. They are in a sealed box of their own making, and the darkness is absolute. Their withdrawal symptoms will be severe. They will experience a frantic, desperate anxiety, a constant feeling that something is critically missing, like a phantom limb ache for the soul. They will check their phone compulsively, not for a message, but for an energetic hit that will never come. The silence from you will be a tangible presence, a void that screams. They will run to new people, new hobbies, new distractions, seeking the same feeling they had when they were with you. But they will find only hollow echoes. The new person's laugh will not carry the same frequency of joy. The new partner's touch will not provide the same sense of profound safety. The new job's success will not deliver the same feeling of authentic purpose. They are chasing a phantom. They are trying to find your light in a world of shadows, and the frantic search will only deepen their despair. They will enter into a new relationship with startling speed, not out of love but out of a desperate need to replicate the energetic high you provided. This new partner will become an unwitting placeholder, constantly being measured against a ghost they cannot see and a standard they can never meet. This comparison will poison the new connection from its inception, dooming it to fail. The very foundation of their new connection will be built on the cracked ground of your absence, guaranteeing its eventual collapse. Their frantic attempts to find a replacement are like trying to capture lightning in a bottle. They are left with nothing but empty glass and the smell of ozone. The person who left you will inadvertently become an energetic vampire to their new partner, repeating the very pattern they enacted with you, but this time from the position of the void, trying to take what they cannot self-generate. You will start to see evidence of this from a distance, perhaps through mutual friends or the cold, curated lens of social media. You will notice a frantic energy about them, a desperate attempt to prove how happy they are, how much better off they are without you. The volume of their posts will increase. The smiles will be wider, but they will not reach their eyes. This performance is not for you, it is for them. It is a desperate incantation to convince themselves that they did not make the most catastrophic error of their spiritual existence. Pay attention to the sensory details of their new life. They will post pictures of food that looks vibrant, but for them, it tastes like ash. They will stand in front of beautiful landscapes, but the view will feel flat, two-dimensional. They are living in a world that has been desaturated of the divine essence you provided. This is the phantom echo, the memory of light in a world that has returned to darkness. They can remember what it felt like to be whole, but they can no longer access the feeling. This will eventually curdle into a bitter, resentful anger. Their confusion will give way to blame. They will begin to villainize you in their minds and in their stories to others. They must. It is the only way for their ego to survive. They cannot admit that they walked away from paradise. They must convince themselves they escaped to prison. They will construct an elaborate narrative of your flaws, exaggerating minor incidents into major crimes. They will become missionaries of this false story, seeking validation from anyone who will listen. But in the quiet moments, in the dead of night, the truth will haunt them. This internal conflict between their ego's lie and their soul's truth will become a source of relentless torment. You are not a memory they can get over. You are a frequency they can no longer access, and the silence where your song used to be is now a deafening, maddening roar. Chapter 4: The Great Reversal. As their world dims, yours begins to blaze with an intensity you have not felt in years. This is the Great Reversal. It is a fundamental law of spiritual physics. Energy is never lost, it is only transferred. For the entire duration of your connection, you were in a state of energetic deficit. You were pouring your life force, your blueprint, into a leaking vessel. Every time you calmed their anxiety, you were taking on a piece of it. Every time you inspired them, you were giving away a piece of your creative fire. Now that the leak has been sealed by their departure, all of that energy is flooding back to you, and it is returning with interest. Every bit of patience you extended, every act of forgiveness you offered, every moment of support you gave in the face of their neglect, all of it was an investment. You were depositing spiritual capital into a cosmic account, a high-yield fund of grace and integrity. The universe is now paying out your dividends, and the market has turned decisively in your favor. This is not luck or chance, it is the earned spiritual wealth you have accumulated. This is the phase where you will begin to understand the true purpose of your past suffering. The loneliness you felt even when you were with them was not a flaw in the connection, it was your soul preserving its core identity, refusing to be fully assimilated into their lower frequency. The betrayals you endured were not punishments, they were strength training exercises for your spirit, designed to teach you to rely only on the divine, to build an unshakable inner foundation that no external force could ever crumble. In the coming weeks, you will experience a phenomenon known as accelerated manifestation. The things you have quietly desired for years will begin to materialize with startling speed and precision. It will not just be an unexpected career opportunity, but the one that feels like play, that perfectly utilizes your unique, innate gifts. It will not just be a financial windfall, but one that arrives at the perfect moment to clear away old debts and create a new foundation of freedom and sovereignty. You will have a chance encounter with a soul who sees and honors your true worth, a connection that feels like coming home, a divine counterpart that is reciprocal and nourishing from the very first moment. This is not a coincidence, it is an alignment. Your frequency is now so pure, so undiluted by their static, that you have become a powerful magnet for your highest timeline. Everything that is truly yours by divine right is now rushing toward you. While they are struggling to feel anything, you will begin to feel everything more deeply. Music will sound richer, containing layers of emotion and harmony you never noticed before. Food will taste more flavorful, as if your taste buds have been reborn. The beauty of the natural world will move you to tears of gratitude. The simple sensation of clean air filling your lungs will feel like a sacred act. Your physical body will reflect this internal shift. Your skin will clear up. Your eyes will become brighter, more luminous. Your very posture will change from one of protection to one of open, confident power. Your own voice will sound different to you when you speak, stronger, more resonant, carrying an undeniable authority that commands respect. This is your senses waking up, reconnecting to the vibrant, high-definition reality you were always meant to experience. This is the physical evidence of your blueprint being fully integrated. The great reversal is also a karmic one. As your life elevates, theirs will begin to unravel in precise, symmetrical ways. The stability you provided them will be replaced with chaos in their own life. Their finances may become unstable, their living situation precarious. The clarity you offered will be replaced with confusion. They will make poor decisions and find themselves lost and without direction. The peace you embodied will be replaced by a relentless, internal anxiety that no distraction can soothe. Do not feel pity. This is not your doing. It is the perfect, impersonal functioning of cosmic law. It is the consequence of their own choice, a lesson they must learn in the stark reality of their own self-imposed exile. Every blessing that arrives for you is a direct, energetic counterpoint to a new struggle they face. Your newfound financial freedom mirrors their growing instability. Your deep, restful sleep mirrors their nights of anxious turmoil. It is perfect, divine accounting. Chapter 5. The Observers in the Shadows. You must now expand your perception of what has occurred. This entire saga, the connection, the drain, the departure, and the reversal, was not a private drama between you and them. It was a public spectacle on a spiritual plane. You were being observed. There are forces, intelligences, what some might call a karmic council or a spiritual hierarchy, that watch over souls of your caliber. These are not judgmental gods on high thrones. They are the architects of causality, the silent auditors of the soul's ledger, the guardians of cosmic balance and spiritual evolution. They are like divine mentors, setting up real-world scenarios not to be cruel but to force the soul to make a definitive choice, to choose itself, to graduate from a lower school of being where it has been stuck for lifetimes. They do not intervene directly, for free will is a sacred law. Instead, they create tests. They place individuals and circumstances in your path to gauge your growth, your integrity, and your readiness for the next level of your assignment. The person who left was one such test, perhaps the most critical one of your current incarnation. They were, in effect, a secret shopper sent by the universe, a living, breathing final exam. Their mission was to present you with a series of choices, each a data point for the observers. Would you diminish your light to make them comfortable, or would you hold your frequency even at the cost of the connection? Would you accept disrespect in exchange for companionship, or would you choose sovereign solitude over compromised connection? Would you betray your own intuition to keep the peace, or would you honor the quiet, persistent voice within? Every time you chose dignity, every time you spoke your truth even when your voice shook, every time you forgave them not for their sake but to free yourself, you were casting a vote in your own favor. The observers noted your resilience. They saw you give freely from a place of love, not from a place of need. They witnessed you maintain your grace even when you were being treated with contempt. They recorded every instance where you chose the difficult path of integrity over the easy path of capitulation. Your final exam was how you handled their exit. Did you beg them to stay? Did you crumble into a heap of despair, believing your life was over? Did you fall into a bitter victimhood, cursing them and the universe? Or did you, after the initial shock and the sacred mourning period, stand up, dust yourself off, and turn your face back toward the sun? The grace with which you handled the separation, your quiet acceptance, your refusal to engage in vindictive drama, your dignified silence in the face of their narrative, this was your graduation ceremony. You passed with the highest honors. Your diploma is the profound, unshakable peace that is now descending upon you. And what of them? They were also being tested. The test for them was simple. Could they recognize the divine in their midst? Could they honor the priceless gift of your blueprint that was being offered so freely? Could they rise to meet your frequency, allowing your light to activate their own dormant potential? Or would they, out of fear, ego, and spiritual immaturity, attempt to dim your light and drag you down to their level? Their departure was their final answer. They failed spectacularly. They looked at a vessel of pure gold and saw only common clay. They held a key to the kingdom of heaven and threw it away because they were more comfortable in the familiar misery of their cage. The observers have recorded their failure. This is why their descent will be so swift and their confusion so complete. They are not just dealing with the consequences of leaving you, they are dealing with the karmic blowback of failing a direct test from the universe. By disrespecting a divine vessel on a sacred assignment, they have incurred a spiritual debt that goes far beyond their personal relationship with you. Their struggle is not just about missing a person, it's about being profoundly out of alignment with cosmic law itself, a far more severe and painful condition. Their story is now one of a cautionary tale recorded in the cosmic archives as a lesson for other souls. Yours is about to become a legend, a testament to the power of a soul that refused to break. A soul that, when pushed to the brink, chose not to shatter but to transform into something stronger, more luminous, and utterly unbreakable. This is the alchemy the observers were waiting to witness, the ultimate proof of your mastery. Chapter 6. The magnetic field of your NEW reality. The reversal is now escalating from an internal feeling to an external, undeniable reality. Your energy field, once dampened and drained by the constant siphoning, is now roaring back to life. It is not just being refilled, it is being fortified, upgraded, and expanded. It is creating a powerful magnetic torus around you, a spinning field of high-frequency energy. This is the magnetic field of your new reality, and it operates under a new set of inviolable laws. The first law is repulsion. Your frequency has risen to a level that is now intolerable, even physically painful, to lower vibrational energies and entities. People who operate from a place of manipulation, deceit, jealousy, or perpetual victimhood will begin to find you actively uncomfortable to be around. Your light, which is pure truth, literally burns them. It illuminates their shadows and inauthenticity, making it impossible for them to maintain their facade in your presence. They will feel nauseous, agitated, or suddenly angry for no apparent reason when they are near you. Consequently, they will inexplicably fall out of your life. The friend who only ever calls to complain will suddenly stop calling. The colleague who thrives on gossip will avoid you in the hallway. This is not you being unkind, it is a natural, automatic process of vibrational mismatch. This is your new magnetic field acting as a divine filtration system. It is automatically, effortlessly, and impersonally clearing your path of anything and anyone not meant for your next chapter. This, of course, includes the person who left. They could not return now even if they tried. To their depleted senses, approaching your vibrant, powerful aura would feel like walking into a wall of fire. The second law is attraction. As the lower energies are repelled, higher vibrational people, opportunities, and synchronicities are being pulled into your orbit with incredible force. You will meet people who understand you without needing an exhaustive explanation of your past. They will speak your language of soul, of energy, of purpose. These are not karmic connections designed to teach you hard lessons. These are divine connections designed to support your mission. This is your true soul family, drawn to the brilliant signal you are now emitting. These connections will feel effortless, marked by mutual respect, reciprocity, and a joyful sense of co-creation. Opportunities that were once blocked will suddenly open up with an almost magical ease. Projects will get greenlit. The right collaborators, investors, and supporters will appear as if summoned. Your path will be cleared of the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable, as if the universe itself is now your personal assistant, orchestrating events in your favor. You must now learn to receive. For so long, you were conditioned to give, to pour out, to be the source for others. Your identity was tied to being the helper. Now you must become a gracious recipient of the blessings that are your birthright. To reject the good that now flows to you is to unconsciously agree with the old narrative that you are unworthy. Receiving gracefully is the final act of healing, a powerful statement to the universe that you accept your new station. When a compliment comes, breathe it in and say thank you without deflecting. When a genuine opportunity arises, seize it without the old feelings of hesitation. When a new, healthy person shows you consistent kindness, allow yourself to receive it without suspicion or fear. This is a crucial part of your integration. You are learning to embody the frequency of abundance you have now become. This magnetic field is the tangible proof that you have become the one they will never get over, not because of who you were to them, but because of who you are now becoming without them. You are becoming a living nexus of divine power, a beacon in a world that has forgotten its own light. Your reality is no longer something that happens to you. It is a direct and immediate reflection of the pure, high frequency you now hold effortlessly within your being. Chapter 7, The Sealed Door and the Golden Key. The final stage of this transformation is the realization of absolute finality. The connection to the past, to the person who left, is not just broken, the doorway itself has been sealed. This is not a door you have closed with anger or effort. This is a door that has been sealed by cosmic law, welded shut by the observers who presided over your test. There is no going back. The timeline where you could have reconciled has collapsed. It no longer exists as a potential reality in the quantum field. It is like a path in a video game that has been permanently deleted from the source code. Trying to go back is impossible because the destination is no longer rendered. In the coming months, perhaps when their world has fully crumbled and their desperation is at its peak, when all other sources have run dry, they will likely attempt to return. This attempt will not be born of love or genuine remorse. It will not come from a place of enlightened self-awareness. It will be born of a parasitic need, a desperate, last-ditch effort to plug back into the only source of light they have ever known. It will be clumsy, transparently needy. It will appear as a text message out of the blue, filled with feigned nonchalance. Hey, just thinking of you. It might be a sudden accidental encounter in a place you used to frequent. It could be a plea sent through a mutual friend, testing the waters. When this happens, a miracle will occur within you. You will not feel the old pull of obligation. You will not feel the familiar pang of false hope. You will not feel anger or pity. You will feel nothing. You will feel a profound and peaceful neutrality. It will be like looking at a photograph of a person you knew in a past life. The emotional charge, both positive and negative, will be gone, completely and utterly neutralized by your new, higher frequency. Your heart will not race. Your mind will not spin. You will simply see the communication for what it is, an echo from a dead world, a ghost knocking on a sealed door. Their attempt to reconnect will be met with the impenetrable wall of your peace. You will not have to build this wall, it is simply there, a natural consequence of your new vibrational state. Your silence will be more powerful than any argument you could ever make. Their words will sound hollow, like an actor reading lines from a script they don't believe, and their neediness will be utterly transparent. Your calm neutrality will be the most baffling and infuriating response you could possibly give them, because it proves, beyond any doubt, that the power dynamic has irrevocably and permanently shifted. This neutrality is your ultimate power. It is the undeniable sign that the untraceable blueprint has been fully and permanently recalled into your own being. You will see them not as a monster or a tragic figure, but as a lesson that has been fully learned and integrated. They are a closed chapter in a book you are no longer reading. You now hold the golden key. This key does not unlock the sealed door to the past. That door is meant to remain sealed forever as a monument to your liberation. This golden key is designed to unlock every door to your future. It is the key to your own kingdom, a reality you will now build from a place of wholeness, not of lack. It is a key to self-mastery. It unlocks deeper levels of your intuition, turning your inner guidance from a whisper to a clear, authoritative voice. It unlocks your highest creative power, allowing you to manifest your visions with ease and precision. It unlocks the ability to consciously shape your reality according to your will, in alignment with the divine. You are no longer waiting to be chosen, to be validated, to be rescued. You are the one who chooses. You are the one who validates. You are your own rescuer. The story is no longer about them getting over you. That is their small, painful, and repetitive story to live out. Your story, the epic one, is about you ascending to a level of existence they cannot even perceive, let alone access. They are a footnote in your sacred text, the necessary catalyst for your glorious becoming. Congratulations is not a word of sarcasm. It is a genuine acknowledgement of your profound spiritual victory. You won. You reclaimed your soul. You passed the test. You became the one they could not break, and therefore the one they will never, ever get over. Your work now is to turn your back to the sealed door, insert the golden key into the lock of your future, and walk forward into the brilliant, blazing dawn of your own creation.